Kore Mapenduka, and welcome to Africa Good Morning, the show that keeps you up to date with the latest news in Africa and beyond. I'm your host, Glenora Shipura. Let's take a look at what you can expect in today's broadcast. Chidimma is a beneficiary of crime. Mayibuye Mandela demands 23 million rand over alleged stolen identity. Tens of thousands in Sudan risk death if world does not step up response, says the IOM. And Mpox is declared a public health emergency in Africa. We'll also be talking to Ari Hohat, who'll be filling us in on the latest news in South Africa. We'll be right back after this.
Neo Paints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neo Paints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neo Paints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
Getting into our top stories, Nelson Mandela's great-grandchild, Mayibuye Mandela, has called on the government to reimburse the victim of alleged identity theft in an investigation into Chidimma Adetshina's nationality. The former Miss SA contestant received a backlash from South Africans for weeks, with some doubting her eligibility to be the face of the nation because her father is reportedly Nigerian. A recent investigation by the Department of Home Affairs found premier facie indications of fraud and identity theft committed by Chidimma Adetshina's mother, who is from Mozambique. An innocent South African mother whose identity may have been stolen as part of the alleged fraud committed by Adetshina's mother suffered as a result because she could not register her child. Part of the department's statement read, in the letter, Mandela listed two immediate actions he thought were essential in resolving the case of this fraudulent act. The first was compensation of 23 million rand for all the financial losses they have endured over the past 23 years. Additionally, the activist called for the arrest and prosecution of all those implicated in the case, including Adetshina's mother and complicit Home Affairs employees. He said these two options were essential in restoring the family's dignity. Mandela said the law is straightforward and should the accused be found guilty, theirs and Chidimma's South African citizenship should be revoked. Mandela said if the department refuses to compensate the family, it should be taken to court. Getting to our next story, the International Organization for Migration urged countries to step up their donations in response to the world's largest displacement crisis in Sudan, warning on Tuesday that inaction could cost tens of thousands of lives. The IOM has received just 21% of the support it needs to provide crucial aid to the Sudanese, already plagued by conflict and now facing hunger, disease, and floods. Mohamed Rafat, who leads the IOM's Sudan's mission, told a briefing, the international community is not doing enough, Rafat said. Without an immediate, massive, and coordinated global response, we risk witnessing tens of thousands of preventable deaths in the coming months, he added. Some 1 in 5 people have been displaced in Sudan, with 10.7 million people internally displaced and 2.3 million having fled across borders, according to the IOM. New research suggests there may be enough water hiding in the cracks of underground rocks beneath the surface of Mars to form an ocean. The findings are based on seismic measurements from NASA's Mars Insight lander, which detected more than 1,300 Mars quakes before it shut down 2 years ago. The researchers combined computer models with InSight data, including the quake's velocity, to determine underground water was the most likely explanation for the seismic readings. The results were published on Monday in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. The water in fractures 11.5 kilometers to 20 kilometers beneath the surface was most likely to have been collected there billions of years ago when Mars harbored rivers, lakes, and possibly oceans, according to the lead scientist Vashan Wright. of the University of California, San Diego's Scripps Institution of Oceanography. On Earth, what we know is where it is wet enough and there are enough sources of energy, there is microbial life very deep in Earth's subsurface, Wright said. Getting into our next story, a treasure trove of artifacts from Egypt's last dynasty has been discovered in 63 tombs in the Nile Delta region, and experts are working to restore and classify them. An official at the country's antiquities authority said the artifacts include gold coins and jewelry dating from Egypt's late Ptolemaic and early Ptolemaic periods, and some pieces could be displayed in one of the country's museums, said Nivian El Arif, a spokeswoman for the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities. An Egyptian archaeological mission from the Supreme Council of Antiquities discovered the mud brick tombs in the Tel Al-Dia necropolis in the city of Diamata, the ministry said in a statement last month. Now getting to the last of our top stories, Mpox, the highly infectious disease that used to be called monkeypox, has been declared a public health emergency in Africa by the continent's top health body. Scientists from the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say they are alarmed by the speed at which a new strand of Mpox has been spreading. Since the beginning of the year, more than 13,700 cases and 450 deaths have been recorded in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The virus, which can cause lesions across the whole body, has spread to other African countries, including Burundi, the Central African Republic of Kenya, and Rwanda. The declaration of a public health emergency will help governments coordinate their response and potentially increase the flow of medical supplies and aid into affected areas. Health chiefs outside Africa will also be monitoring the situation to assess the risk of the outbreak spreading further. Mpox spreads from animals to humans and between people through close contact with someone who is infected, including through sex, skin-to-skin contact, and talking or breathing close to another person. That concludes our top stories. On the other side of the break, we talk to Ari Hochart, who will be giving us the state of affairs in South Africa.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
We now talk to Ari Hochart, who will be giving us the latest on what's happening in South Africa. Good morning, Ari.
Yes, a very good morning, Lenora. Nice to talk to you.
All right, getting into your first story. According to Statistics South Africa, the South African unemployment rate is now officially over 30%. This is definitely very concerning.
Yes, it is definitely concerning indeed, Lenora. It is 33.5%, and it's aiming for 40% if we're not careful. It is the second quarter, and it was 32.9% in the first quarter. So it's a setback for the economy and the government. It is important that it improves. The reality at the moment is 2020 or 2014, that is 5 years ago, it was just 5.2 million people that was unemployed. At the moment, it's 8.4 million people that's unemployed. So it's it grew with 3.2 million. So the economy is under pressure. There were lots of challenges in the last 10 years economy-wise, also electricity that we know about. But the reality at the moment is that the provinces like the Northwest really struggling, 54% unemployed there. And 49% in the Eastern Cape. But that's one of the schools. The education, even that is under pressure. Obviously, it's important for people to get good education, then to try and get good jobs. But still, there's 9.7% of people that even have a degree is unemployed. So there is a big challenge there. government trying to address that. That is farming, agriculture, one of the sectors in the second quarter that did grow. So there were more jobs in the agriculture, but unfortunately manufacturing and the informal sector, they went down. So they lost some jobs in the second quarter. So it balances out a little bit. So hopefully it can improve. The economists say that they expect it in the third quarter to look a lot better because of the load shedding. That's not an issue at the moment as well. The economy looks a bit stronger, and there's obviously the government of national unity also working together a little bit better. So hopefully the economy will turn.
Speaking of the government of national unity, the MK party and former President Jacob Zuma has taken the SABC to court over the use of the term government of national unity.
Yes, that's a term that's been used since the election, and many of the parties, there's former President Zuma on his MK banners or one of the pamphlets. They say it's unconstitutional, so saying the government of national unity is unconstitutional, and they're challenging that in the High Court. The reason they say that is obviously there's some parties that's not part of this government of national unity officially. They say it's more a partnership. Actually, the DA, the Democratic Alliance, in their own words, use the word coalition. So it's probably closer to say it's a coalition than a government of national unity. So the argument at the moment is a bit complex, but it's saying, to quote them in court, the MK party say that the SABC should not serve as a conduit for the ANC and the DA, meaning that they should not promote them in that way, that it is a government of national unity and it is a partnership. So it's a bit technical. So obviously one must look a little bit deeper. The person representing President Zuma is Dali Mpofu. SC is an advocate. He was the national chairman of the EFF from 2014 to 2019, but more importantly, served as the CEO of the SABC actually from 2005 to 2009. So he knows the SABC, he knows what the terms are. So it's interesting to see that it's Dali Mpofu. So, but that's underneath it's bubbling a little bit between the fight between the former President Zuma and President Ramaphosa. So that is definitely a struggle between the MK party and the ANC that's intensifying at the moment.
All right, now getting into your next story, the record high rainfall has been reported to continue to challenge infrastructure in Cape Town.
Yes, it was July, was lots of rain. Actually, it rained yesterday in Cape Town again. That's what it looked like in some areas just a week or so ago. It's a definite challenge on the infrastructure. Just to put it into context, the Cape Town city centre received lots of rain over the in July. In July, they received 200 or 317 millimeters in the city centre. 317 millimeters. That's the most since 1960. And the airport also had the most since 1956. And Kirstenbosch Botanical Gardens got even 500 millimeters in July. So that's almost like double or triple, almost double what they normally get. So infrastructure under pressure. What's more under pressure is the agriculture. Just outside Cape Town, that's the harbour that's important for citrus exports at the moment. And the Citrus Dal area do have lots of people working there, 35,000 people working for them, and they export close to 102,000 tons of citrus, mostly to the United States and Europe. And the infrastructure is the third time that in 18 months that it's been cut off from the outside. So it's not only roads and farms that's damaged, it is also damages at the harbour with the high seas, etc. That makes it difficult. So the economy is under pressure because of all the rain as well. But it is August now, so hopefully the rain season needs to stop now. It's a winter rainfall season in the Cape, so hopefully it will be better for the farmers as well.
Now, in some feel-good story, South African athletes that won medals at the 2024 Paris Olympics will be rewarded some prize money.
Yes, that's some good news, and it's well earned. South Africa got 6 medals at the Olympic Games in Paris. That is Tatiana Smith. She got 2 of them, 1 gold and a silver. And it's a lot better since Tokyo. Tokyo, South Africa just got 3 medals. I think Tatiana, she was told in Schumacher, she got 2 of those 3. There's incentives. So there's some prize money. So if you got a gold medal, you get 400,000 rand. a silver 200,000 rand, and the bronze 75,000 rand. Just something coming back from the Olympic Commission in South Africa. The coaches also got something, 100,000 for gold, 50 for silver, and 25,000 for bronze. So there's some recognition there. It was a bit in the news the past days. Just quickly, the javelin thrower Joanne van Dijk. It was revealed that she didn't get any support from any official athletics companies or boards. She did all. She got a silver medal purely from own funding, her parents helping her, so there's not enough support, but hopefully that will get into place. That's the 4x100 meter athletes. They got a silver. They will get some money that they can share between them. And the sevens rugby team is a big squad. There's lots of them. They only get 50,000 rand each, but at least they get something. So South Africa proud of the achievements of those athletes. The nice thing about that photo is that the athlete second from right, as we speak, he's back learning maths in his school in Nakiro High School. He's 18 years old, back to school, but he's got a silver medal around his neck. So normally they ask him, what did you do for holidays? He can tell a nice story. I've been in Paris. I won a silver medal for my country. So that's a nice story.
Definitely going to be a great story to tell his schoolmates. Thank you so much, Ariohat, for bringing us the latest news in South Africa.
It's a big pleasure, and blessings for everyone for the day. Bye-bye.
All right, we're going to take a look at the weather predictions before we return with economic news. Getting into our economic news, the Mozambican National Elections Commission this Tuesday confirmed to LUSA the delay in making available 3.8 million euros to candidates in the October general elections, saying the funds had not yet been transferred by the government. Unfortunately, the amount has not yet been made available by the government. Therefore, we are waiting. CNE spokesperson Paulo Cuyenquio told LUSA, admitting that there is already a delay in the process. Cuyenquio announced in July that the CNE expected to make these subsidies available to parties, political groups, and candidates for President of the Republic in the general elections on October 9th at the beginning of August, taking into account that the electoral campaign officially starts on August 24th. The disbursement of funds for the campaigns of the candidates for President of the Republic, candidates for the election of members of the Assembly of the Republic, and the election of members of the provincial assemblies and provincial governors should have started at the end of July, according to the CNE calendar. The Mozambican National Resistance complained yesterday about these delays, claiming that they are affecting the preparation of the electoral campaign. The immediate impact is the late production of campaign material, said Marshal Makome, spokesperson for Renamo, at a press conference held this Tuesday in Maputo. Getting into our next story, the National Food Reserve Agency is launching a new digital system to enhance its grain purchasing operations. The NFRA Director General Dr. Andrew Komba told reporters that the system will streamline transactions by accelerating the transmission of seller information and simplifying payments. The new system will facilitate the rapid and efficient transmission of seller information to the relevant departments, thereby simplifying the payment process, he said. He said the new system would improve efficiency by quickly sending seller information to the regional managers and his office for prompt execution and payment authorization. This is essentially the new system we intend to use to provide faster and more efficient services at our service centers, Dr. Komba emphasized. Currently, NFRA operates 72 purchasing points across 8 regions. Dr. Komba further noted that the agency was also planning to increase the number of purchasing points in a deliberate effort to provide better and more efficient services to farmers. Let's take a look at our financial indicators before we return with Ari Hochad here to bring us the sports news this time around.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, and starting off with tennis news first. It is the next major on the tennis calendar that will start on the 19th of August, and that will be the US Open that will start in New York. And the news from the men's side of the draw is that Novak Djokovic seemed to be on track to play in the tournament. He's been battling with a knee injury quite a while, also battled with that in the Olympic Games, but Novak Djokovic indicated that he will be fit to play in the tournament. One player that will not play in the tournament, the men's player, is Rafael Nadal. He confirmed that he will not play because he's injured, and he only played one tournament since 2019 in the US Open, and he's 38 years old, so Rafael Nadal still battling with injury. Moving on to soccer news, and it is 3 clubs that's going to lose big players for the new season. It is firstly, Manchester City, and it is Julian Alvarez. He's not going to play for them this season. He signed a deal with Atletico Madrid, and that is a 5-year deal, very expensive, $82 million that it's worth over that 5 years, and he will not play for Manchester City this year. The previous record, this is a record for Manchester City in terms of selling a player. The previous record was Raheem Sterling, that was sold in 2022 to Chelsea for $50 million. Also, Liverpool that will lose Fabio Carvalho, and he's going to go to Brentford, and that deal is worth $24 million, and it is a 5-year deal. Also, Tottenham Hotspur losing a big player, and they're going to lose Brazilian defender. His name is Emerson Royal, and he's going to go to AC Milan. That's also a big deal, to the extent that they didn't disclose. So they just said it's an undisclosed fee, and it is a 4-year contract that he signed with AC Milan. On to rugby news, and it is Australia that do have injury problems. That's before the second test against South Africa. They lost the first test the past weekends against the Springboks. It is Filipe Dauguna that is injured. He's got a broken or a fractured tibia, and then also 2 players that's battling with concussion. That is both locks Nick Frost and Jeremy Williams. They're not going to be able to play against the Springboks in the second test in Perth. Also, cricket news, and that is related to the captain of the England cricket team. He got injured in a hundreds tournament game. He injured his hamstring. That is Ben Stokes. He's a big injury concern for England when they play against Sri Lanka. It is a 3-match test series that will start on the 21st of August. And if he cannot play, if Ben Stokes cannot play, it will be Ollie Pope that will be the captain for the England team. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day. We talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Wednesday morning. And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. From me, Glenn Rashipura, until next time.